Hey folks, I thought I'd do another update on my favorite kids movies. I went through and picked some of my favorite ones. I haven't shown I don't think I've shown really any except one or two of these videos so far. Some of these are comedies, they pretty much all the different types. Now some of them that I've already talked about before, I didn't include. I may do another part of this at another time. The first movie I picked, now I know I might get a little bit of grief over this, but I picked Pippi Longstocking. Now, I'm sure a lot of people laugh at this movie and think of it as like a piece of crap or something, but I always liked it. If you grew up watching this, it's a true 80s movie, even though it's supposed to take place in like the 50s. For some reason or another, they used all 80s sounding music. It doesn't exactly fit, but it's still funny and it's still a good movie. It's a little cheesy. Some of it could have been done a little better, but it's still a fun movie. Mainly the music is really good. A lot of people go crazy over music like Hairspray and all that, but I go crazy over Watch Out World. Pippi Longstocking's coming. The next one I picked is a pretty forgotten movie, but you can buy it in a lot of the Walmart $5 bins. Bingo. Now this was always weird as a kid's movie because it was pretty dirty. There was a lot of really dirty words in it. I don't know why, for a kid's movie, and a lot of mature content. And you know what I mean if you've seen it. It's like a kid's movie, but yet you can tell it was written by adults that didn't know much about making a kid's movie. It's definitely something you should check out. If you like those movies about like dogs trying to find, their families and getting left behind, that's one to check out. The next one I picked, people had asked me about before why I didn't show it before in favorite comedies, and I forgot. Well, Heavyweights, and this is what I consider a fat brother movie. As a fat guy, there aren't too many movies they make that are real positive about fat people. And Heavyweights was a positive fat people movie. And I used to, as a kid, always pretend like I was in this movie. Although in the beginning, there's a kid in the Camp Hope video who's standing in the background and he looks identical to me. You may, if you watch that, you may be able to tell. So if you've seen it before, you just check and you might be able to see the guy that looks a lot like me. The next video I picked was Harry and the Hendersons. This came out to DVD a couple of months ago. I was waiting forever for this to come out. And this stars John Lithgow, and this is a very sad movie. At the end, you're probably going to cry. I always do. Even watching it now, even though I watched it in 1987, it was like 2 or 3 when I first saw it. I cried then, I cry now. I always cry to this movie. You can almost cry just thinking about it. They made a really poor TV show. At least I don't think I ever saw it. It was like they brought back Harry, but with a different cast, and it was only for like the Disney Channel or something. The next video I picked was Midnight Madness. I didn't see this movie until about a couple months ago. I might have seen it once or twice as a kid. It's a very weird, odd movie for a Disney film, and it stars the one fat guy who was in Animal House, but the main star that you would all know is Michael J. Fox. It's one of his first movies. I think he might have done High School USA before or after that, after this movie, but it's definitely a movie to check out. It's kind of like about a bunch of college guys and girls going on this midnight madness thing when they go out and stay out all night and do a bunch of weird tasks, and all the tasks are really peculiar, and if you really went and did them in real life, you'd be arrested by breaking into places. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. The next movie I picked was Rocket Man, which is a newer movie. Not really new. I think it's 8 years old. It's Harlan Williams, who I think is a very funny comedian. Well, at least funny in these kind of movies. He has a real odd sense of humor. He's usually the same in all the movies. He has this one specific way of acting, but it's definitely a funny movie and one to check out. I'm going to go through these a little quicker so this video isn't as long as some of the other ones. The next video I picked was Little Giants. It's the movie with Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis. And as you know, Rick Moranis hasn't been acting in years, and hopefully one day he'll come back. And then I picked Home Alone, which I've talked about before. Homeward Bound, which is the movie about those dogs when they think they've been left behind. It's 2 dogs and a cat. And who's the star of this again? Sally Field and Michael J. Fox. This is a very good movie. It was kind of like Milo and Otis, but with more a bigger budget and more happening. My only notice, I found it was like made in Japan apparently, and dubbed over in America. I'd be interested to see what the Japanese version would have been like if there was one. The next thing I picked was Monkey Trouble, and from when I watched this the first time, I always wanted to go to the beach where they filmed this, that Venice beach, and then last year I went there, and it wasn't a very positive experience. Like, I mean, everyone there, like, it was a lot of riffraffs going on, a lot of like homeless people, and it was slightly scary. I mean, it was nice and all, but I mean, there was a lot of people with marijuana, so when you're walking around, you were kind of flying through the place. But, you know, it just wasn't the kind of place like the way the movie made it look. It wouldn't be very nice to hang out there all the time. The next movie I picked was Fred Savage's movie, The Wizard. This was like, I think he did this right when The Wonder Years was popular, about the same time when he was doing a lot of movies at this point. He was doing this, Little Monsters. Little Monsters was a bit better. I wouldn't consider it a fully kids movie because I kind of got scared shitless by it as a kid, because, you know, certain parts of it. But that's one that I would recommend. The next is Henry Winkler's only directed movie, Cop and a Half. The next is Beethoven, starring Charles Grodin, who finally made a return to acting in the movie The X. Wasn't a very good movie, but he finally came back. The next, I'm going through quick because I only have 3 minutes of tape left, so I don't know what I'm going to do. The next I picked was Little Nemo, which is a great little animated film, and it was Ray Bradbury's book turned into a movie. The next video I picked, a lot of people made fun of this movie, The Indian in the Cupboard. Although now this is considered politically incorrect, it would have to be called The Native American in the Cupboard. The next I picked was another Fred Savage movie, Vice Versa. And I'm just trying to go through these quick. And then I picked Hansel and Gretel. This was the Norwegian movie made in 1987. I used to always confuse this one with the Shelley Duvall one. The Shelley Duvall one is alright. It might make you a little sick. Parts of it just weren't that good. If you want to watch the good one, watch this MGM one. This was the one that I always loved as a kid. So happy when I finally was able to find it. And it stars Cloris Leachman as the witch. She did voices in Beavis and Butthead as the old woman on the plane. The next movie I said was The Chipmunk Adventure. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Although I liked Part 2 a bit better. I didn't like Part 3. I agree with the Angry Video Nerd. Part 3 was not very good. The next was Surf Ninjas. And I don't have anything to say about that. I just liked it. And the next was all the Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Even the third one. I know parts of it ate butt cheese. But it was still nice. And the last two movies I'd like to talk about a little more. Shipwrecked. I remember when I first saw this in theaters. Right after I saw it, I was really inspired to go buy Legos. Those treasure Legos, and put them together and try and make my own Shipwrecked set. I remembered seeing this in that theater, so now I can't go to because someone was shot at and it's got bad vibes. But I don't know if anyone remembers this. This is the British DVD. It's out in America on full screen only if you join the damn Disney Club. And I didn't want to go through all that crap. And if you join that club, you got to buy all these other movies for $25.99. Not a good deal. The next movie I picked was The Peanut Butter Solution, which isn't on DVD. Hopefully at some point it will be. I bought this for $9.99 a couple years ago at Blockbuster. I nearly sheet my pants when I finally found it. I couldn't tell you how long I was looking for this. But this movie got royally shit on E-Bombs World. They posted a trailer and said, ew, that looks like a terrible movie. Don't listen to people in there. This is an amazing movie you definitely should check out. So I hope you liked this video, and I'd be interested in hearing what you thought about my choices. I'll probably do a part 2 in a couple weeks or so about some more. But thanks for watching this video. Bye. Oh, and I love suggestions for other types of videos to do like this that you'd like to see. I attempted to do one of action, but I had a hard time figuring out if I had many action films. I can only think of like Die Hard, Waterworld. That's about all that would come to me. I'm sure I might have more, but post like some titles of some movies you consider action, and I'll see if I have any of them, because I don't know if I do. Thanks.